Hello, my name is Valerie Hernandez, and today I will be speaking about the vaginal microbiome. What is the vaginal microbiome? Well, the vaginal microbiome is made up of communities of bacteria, fungi, and viruses, and they all play a function in protecting the female reproductive system, which essentially, for vaginas, it plays as the immune system. In 1993, women were finally included in clinical research, and that is when the female biomarker was discovered, also known as the vaginal microbiome. When looking into the vaginal microbiome, researchers are able to identify infectious pathogens by using technology in the lab, which enables them to have the ability to identify strain level variations of specific pathogens. So what benefits can a woman get just by knowing their vaginal health? Well, they're able to receive empowerment and they're able to ask for advice from their healthcare providers on dietary changes or if they need to make a change in their routine, because essentially a lot of things affect our vaginal microbiome. So the importance of women's health of the vaginal microbiome. There are many infections that may be caused if the vaginal microbiome is disrupted by infectious microbes. There are more than 770 infectious diseases and many are preventable. Some common health issues are listed here. So we have the vaginal infections such as bacterial vaginosis and yeast infections, and then having an unhealthy vaginal microbiome, can cause IVF failure, preterm birth, STI acquisition, and cancer progression. Usually, many women see an OBGYN or their primary healthcare provider after seeing an unusual color or texture of their vaginal discharge. Now, to receive treatment for bacterial vaginosis, let's say, it may reoccur after 9 months of treatment, and even then, it is very expensive. According to Evie, up to 80%, 30% of women that do have bacterial vaginosis get it again within 9 months of treatment. So then what makes up a healthy vaginal microbiome? Lactic acid does, a chemical that body cells produce when carbohydrates are broken down to be utilized for energy. There are microbes in this microbiome that support production of lactic acid, which is the goal. Having an acidic environment prevents disruptive microbes from being able to survive the surface of the vagina. So then, what are ways to help them not survive? It is important to maintain a pH level of 3.5 to 4.5. And to not wash the vagina, more specifically the labia, with soap. Only use lukewarm water, and even then, do not let the water into the vagina. Otherwise, this allows pathogens to come in and cause many infections. Some other things that may throw off the pH are longer periods than usual, a new sexual partner, or even a new swimsuit. As this throws off the pH level, it is critical to keep in mind that disruptive pathogens may be able to survive on the surface of the vagina and possibly cause an infection. Therefore, it is very critical for the vaginal microbiome to be in an acidic environment so that the bad microbes do not survive and take up space on the vaginal wall. Allowing the pH to not be within necessary range allows for the pathogens to thrive in this hospital environment for them. Since women's health is fairly new to clinical research, technology has made it easier to have a precise understanding of where disruptive microbiomes are taking place on the vaginal microbiome and is now preventative, depending on how critical or which infectious disease it is, of course. It is critical for women to understand their vaginal health and is highly recommended for women to take a vaginal microbiome test as all of their bodies are different and one may not be able to produce enough lactic acid. Now let's talk about the vaginal microbiome throughout our lifespan. So in birth, the lactobacillus is present and even the estrogen hormone is present. It's very important of maturation and the epithelial cell. Glycogen is in the top layer and that releases sugars, and the lactobacillus is in the baby's system within 3 to 4 weeks. After that, it no longer is in the system up until puberty. But pre-puberty, there is a lot of bacteria, anaerobes, there's no lactobacillus, and it's in a very diverse environment since none of these hormones are taking place yet. However, going into puberty, they begin to produce estrogen. The vaginal microbiome does have the lactobacillus as it returns. And then during reproductive years, for pregnancy, lactobacillus is exclusively abundant, and there's estrogen cycling, almost exclusive lactobacillus, and hyperestrogenic state for the rest of the year. During menopause, they begin to lose estrogen and lactobacillus, meaning that the vaginal microbiome is less dominated by the lactobacillus. More sets of anaerobes take place, and these are my works cited. Thank you guys so much.